So, Coach, if you just want to start off, just some general thoughts on the upcoming season, and then we'll get into some other questions.
Well, my initial thoughts are I'm actually glad it's here. We've gone through trials and tribulations as everyone around the country has. We are in uncharted waters with this pandemic going on. So I just want to take my hats off to my administration, our athletic training staff, the guidance that Kurt McGuffin has given the department in each sport, in particular my sport, in doing the best job that they can to keep us informed on what to do and what not to do. And so just thankful that the season is here and we were able to salvage the season. Last year, the season didn't get to any finality, and hopefully we'll get through a whole season this year.
Thanks, Coach. Again, for anybody that's got questions for Coach, just put them down in the chat and I'll call on you. And I'm going to start you off with one or two here, Coach. You alluded to it, but with this being anything but a normal season, how do you try to keep it somewhat normal as possible for your student athletes?
Well, obviously, again, with the pandemic, something that I've never experienced or coached in or through, you try to have as much normalcy as you can. So it's pretty normal for student athletes to be here, to be in school, to attend class, whether that's in person going to class, via Zoom or online, to have regular or as regular practice patterns and practice days as you can, and try to kind of have business as usual and give them something that they are familiar with. School and basketball is something student athletes are familiar with, whether they've been at the university level or whether they've been at the high school level, prep level, or junior college level. So just to try to keep things going as normal as we can, that's just kind of what I tried to do for these young men. And too many times during this pandemic, we're telling them, well, you can't do this, you can't go here, you can't do that, can't do this. And so to give them some things that they can do on a regular basis, go to school, get in the gym, practice, lift, certain things that they're familiar with was helpful.
All right, we'll go to the questions we got here from the media. Harry Schroeder. Harry, if you'd like to start off with Coach Stewart.
Good morning, Coach. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, I wanted to ask you about Parker's involvement in looking at the NBA, and at the same time, when I think about him doing that and Taylor doing that and Jordan Adams, the league has a whole lot of top flight talent this year coming back. So I'd like you to talk a little bit about Parker's experience, and then just how you can speak to the great high level of talent in the league.
Well, you said it best, Harry, that there's such a plethora of high level talent in this league, and that's been going on the last few years, and I don't see that getting having any fall off on talent. With that being said, is when it comes to Parker, it hit home here. Going through that process, allowing him to test the waters, get some very good feedback on some things that he needs to work on for the next level, things that the NBA would like to see him do, things that he does well. Anytime you can get like positive and negative feedback is always warranted here for his progression to be a professional basketball player. It was serious interest. I believe that everyone that put their name in the draft as an early entrant initially, they were prospects. And there are real prospects in this league, as we know. We got NBA, we got Ja Morant, we've got Dylan Whitland, we got guys previous. This is a real league. And anyone that doesn't know that, they're kidding themselves night in and night out. There are no easy wins, no easy outs, no easy games. And so, and that's all a testament to the talent in this league.
And can you tell me any of the specifics about the kind of feedback they gave Parker?
Well, they wanted to see Parker shoot a higher percentage than he did. He took a lot of tough shots last year that he had to take. They know he can really shoot the basketball as he did at a high clip in the ACC, one of the highest levels in Division I basketball. One positive, they want to see him with his decision making, being on the ball more, being a point guard more here than he was when he was at Pitt in the ACC. So improving his percentages, improving his decision making, and just some various things on quickness, lateral quickness, small things that can definitely be corrected and adjusted.
He had such a great year last year. I want to shift gears and just ask you a little bit. I think 7, 8 new guys. You guys have a lot of overhaul in the roster. Talk about how your roster's shaping up and how you feel about rotation things. I know it's still early.
Well, I feel really good about my team. I feel really good about my guys, the quality character guys they are. I tried to do something a little different with my roster this year. I actually have, I believe, 20 players, 20 guys, 13 scholarship players, 7, I won't even call them walk-ons. I'll call them 7 guys that, decided to invest in themselves. And so they're very good players. They had Division I offers, scholarship offers prior to coming here to walk on. And so what I tried to do, I tend to be a worst case scenario type of person and coach, in that, knock on wood, if the pandemic or the virus hits us, I would still have a plethora of good quality players that did not have the virus, that we could still practice and still go and put a good product out on the floor. So I kind of did it like a farm team in baseball. That's my baseball background. I created my own farm team in basketball just to make sure we would not have to forfeit any games.
Appreciate your time. Stay safe.
Thank you. You do the same.
We'll go to Jeff Bidwell next.
Morning, Anthony. I guess in terms of the summer and how disjointed it was, kind of, especially with so many new faces that you guys have, I kind of think of it as like, the new parent bonding with the newborn. You didn't really get that bonding time maybe in the same way that you would have in the past. How sort of challenges did you have this summer in terms of just trying to make a team and build those relationships with you and your guys, especially all the new ones?
Well, we honestly, Jeff, the process by which we acquired all of our guys is not unlike what I do or what we do as a staff anyway. So very rarely do we do home visit. I mean, not home visit, but do an official visit where kids come to campus. That's just not the blueprint of what I do. It comes in, there's cost involved in that, and, this, that, and the other. But so the process and the blueprint to get really good student athletes to come here to Martin, Tennessee, it was business as usual for us, using Zoom, using the phone, sight unseen sometimes on some things, doing a lot of evaluation via, online and using film. Now, I did not bring my student athletes here for the summer. I chose not to do that due to the pandemic and the virus. I let everyone stay home, try to stay safe, but we did utilize Zoom. We met once a week, every week, and we went over as a group and as a staff and as a team defensive philosophies. We really focused on defense. And we touch base with them just about every day, just for their mental health, their well-being, make sure their families were doing well. And so once they got here, we began more of and we are still doing it with the bonding piece, because we're still being socially distant. We're still following the guidelines that that have been given to us to be safe. And so we're still in the process of the bonding, trying the chemistry and bringing everybody together. That's something that I didn't want to rush. We have time to do it, and that's what we're doing.
How often are you guys being tested in that tier 1 group?
Right now, we get tested every Monday, Jeff. We just had a test yesterday, and I'm really proud of my particular team, my staff, and my guys. We really, I think, so far this year we've only had one positive, and that was a positive actually before school started, and that individual was still showing as positive. So the guys have been really, they've been diligent in their ability to listen and implement what we asked them to do as far as wearing a mask and being safe.
I guess this is a two-parter, from the coaching standpoint, obviously it's big to get an all-league guy to come back to school that you thought you might have lost in Parker, but then maybe on the other hand, as dad as well, to be able to, you've got your son who's trying to go live out his dreams, but at the same time, he gets to hang out with the family for another year and you get another year with him. How was that balance for you this summer as he made his decision?
There was no pressure. I always want what's best for him as a young man, as an adult, as my son, and being his father. I think it's the most important thing I can do is support him. I don't have any selfish reasons or gains. If he would have decided to keep his name in a draft or possibly decided to go overseas, he got some pretty significant offers financially to go overseas. I would have supported that. I don't, the show's going to go on here in March with or without Parker. Now the show runs a lot better with Parker. Let's not fool ourselves here, but just to have my son around for another year, and we take what we get, and and he gives us what he can. He goes over and beyond, and probably the biggest thing for him on the 21st, what's today, the 10th? In 11 days, he walks across the stage and receives his master's in business administration with 2 years eligibility. So I'm just as proud of that accomplishment as I am of anything he's done on the court.
In terms of your schedule and just talking with coaches, obviously this year has just been a nightmare trying, especially once the season condensed and everybody was sort of scrambling. Where are you right now with those 5 games? Are you going to play an MTE and get 7, or what's sort of your timetable and your plan with the clock running out right now?
My decision making was solely based on what's in the best interest of my players, what's in their best, what's the most safe for them, and how can I be as health conscious. It has everything to do with keeping my guys safe. So what I chose to do, I'm only going on the road one time. I'm going to go play a money game on the road, and the other 3 non-conference games, I'm playing a total of 24. The other 3 non-conference games will be here. So I only have to leave the confines of home, which, we know what we do here. We know what we've done here to be safe. And I'm playing 24, and I'm choosing not to get on an airplane. And I'm getting on a bus to go less than 3 hours away to go down to Ole Miss one time. And other than that, non-conference, that's all I'm going to do. I think that's in the best interest of these young men, and that's what I'm going to do.
Do you have an opening game date set yet, an opponent, or is that still up in the air?
We're still in that. I do believe it'll be I know the date will be the 28th. I can't really say anything till I get the contract back, but we will have an opening. We will play on November the 28th. It will be our first game.
We got 5 more minutes or so with Coach Stewart. So if anybody has a question, just let me know if anybody's got follow-ups in the chat, and then we'll ask them there. Coach, I got one for you while we wait for that. I'm just seeing what some of your players and your program you all have been able to do with social justice issues and raising awareness. And can you talk a little bit about some of that activity? And I know everybody registered to vote on your team that was eligible, and why it's important to give student athletes that kind of platform to be heard.
Well, you know, that's something, you know, I applaud everyone around the country for taking the initiative, taking the bull by the horns, and doing something, whether that's registering people to vote, whether that's getting out in the community, whether that's bringing awareness in whichever way people see fit. As far as I'm concerned, there are just some things that are innately ingrained to me just for the simple fact I look like majority of the guys that play for me. So I have a certain responsibility, whether I like it or not, in something that I've always done. You know, this isn't a thing as to where, okay, we're going to register these guys to vote. We register people to vote regardless of the presidential election. That's the first thing that we do because, okay, we just had the presidential election, but the laws are made by congressmen, senators, the House. So there are other races that go on around the country from where these young men are that they need to be involved with, and have to know the issues. And so whether you want to call it social justice, awareness, I call it preparedness for reality when you leave here. I take pride in my corporate background with the simple fact of, with my program, anything that you cannot do in a corporate job, which, you know, I strive for each of my student athletes to have, whether they play pro basketball or not, anything you can't do in the corporate culture, you can't do in my program. And so just having people prepared for what's going to hit them when they walk out of it. And if I haven't prepared them for that, I've failed them, and I'm not going to fail them, regardless of their ethnicity, their creed, or their culture.
I've got one more, and if anybody else has one, let me know in the chat. You maybe touched a little bit on this earlier, but just the level of competition OVC, some of the coaches yesterday talked to it. You know, we had 13 returning players on the all-conference team, including Parker. That seems a crazy number of people that are not even, there's not that many seniors. Just how have you, in your time here in the league, seen the level of talent that we have right now in the OVC?
This is about the largest sample size of talent that I've seen. And as you said, for previous, Kyle, there aren't any seniors, or there are very few.
Very few. Very few
seniors. So a lot of the talent is young. And if you look around the league, and you know, I go as far as I go to each team and each conference and look at who they signed and freshmen, and I do my own research. There are also some freshmen and incoming prep school guys and JUCO guys that are really good too. So again, this league, I think it's becoming known around the country, is a really, really good league. Obviously, when you have the Ja Morants that come through the league, then go on to be NBA Rookie of the Year. You've had some other guys in the league go on and have NBA success. Lester Hudson here, he's made a really great living over in China. And so people know what the OVC is about. They know how tough it is, and they know if you come here and you know, put your best foot forward, what you can do to propel yourself to a professional career. And it's obvious that you know, kids are taking notice of that because they're coming into this league in droves.
Yeah, it's just 3 of the 13 are seniors. Everybody else.
That's tremendous. That's a good thing, and it's a bad thing. So it's a good thing if you get more of those guys on the list than somebody else.
Exactly. Good for your team. Anybody else have a question for Coach Stewart? If not, we'll transition here. Coach, thank you for your time this morning, and best of luck to your team this season.
Thank you. Appreciate everyone, and everybody stay safe. Thank you.